The beautiful sunny streets of New York.
Well, it's going to be a hot weekend in New York City. Now, you've had a lot of rain over the last few days, haven't you? Did you guys get the rain?
Yeah, but in sections. I mean, you know, people forget, besides the city being so big in terms of population, it's a pretty large city. So, I mean, area-wise. So you can be up in the Bronx and it's raining, and you can be out in Brooklyn and the sun is shining. So it varies an awful lot throughout the city.
It has been, this weather's been so weird. It could be raining on the front side of your house, but you go to the backyard, and it's not raining. It's been so weird lately. All right. Anyway, it's going to be a hot one this weekend in New York City. Hot temperatures on the way. So, and even we're going to be looking at that. All right. What do we have? More than I could not believe this story.
I couldn't either.
This NYU story.
No, I mean, maybe now I have a great idea. Why don't we just not continue our conversation on this story and let everybody wonder and tell them to tune in next week?
They should wonder because it is a crazy story.
Well, it's from whence it comes. You know, that was an old expression my mother used to use years and years ago. When you read anything or heard anything, always the first question is from whence it comes. But in this particular place, it comes from NYU, New York University.
What I love, though,
they came out with a very confidential report saying that they feel that 1,000 undergraduates and graduate students, that's out of a total population of maybe about 60,000, are prostitutes. And you figure, I know, there's too many zeros in there or something's wrong. But no, that's what it is. I mean, they're not bragging about it. They're just making the observation. Yeah, it's their own fault. It probably cost so much money to go to that school.
Yeah, that's how...
But the kiddies are figuring out ways to do it. That's not the days of my college, boy.
How they're paying for their college.
So true story.
It gives new meaning to a TAP grant, by the way, Christine.
So I went to NYU eons ago.
I'm sorry. I take the whole story back.
No, don't take it back, because I remember my roommate and I discussing, not necessarily prostitution,
as an option,
but the option of exotic dancing, because it was so expensive to go to school there that we knew a lot of our friends who did that. And, both of us were like, never in a million years, but life would be so much easier if we had done that. And they got paid really, really well.
Yeah.
I now see you in a new light.
You've opened the door for people.
It's a spotlight.
I didn't do it.
In you at all.
Didn't do it.
It was mainly on Keela.
Didn't do it.
No, those aroused me.
Those aren't feathers. Those are dollar bills.
How big is your husband? I mean,
I did not do it. Yes.
All right. At the end of the day, though, I have to say it's incredible how expensive this is and how impossible for some it is. And if you can't do it, but you need to get ahead, I guess they resort to this sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I think what's going to happen is it's going to be the next big thing. I can see the rumblings. If legalized prostitution is going to be the next big, transgender and, that kind of a fight, because there's been more and more articles. And then, recently the New York Times had the big blockbuster about prostitution. So I think this is sort of like the opening salvo in that probably by this time next year, everybody will say, well, make it legal, make it legal.
How about this new way the police department there is going to be restraining people, violent people?
It's scary and it's creepy and it's very medieval. I have a picture of it on my website where it looks like it's a huge kind of restraining bag that if they get some crazy person who's really going nuts, to prevent the person from hurting himself or herself and the cops, because that's a dangerous time sometimes when you're arresting people, of course.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing, and it's kind of creepy looking, but I think it's good to have alternatives to just shooting people.
But probably probably is having that. And how about if you see the commercials for Schlesinger, Stuart A. Schlesinger, the personal injury attorney in New York?
He's in big trouble now.
That's what I saw.
Because they say in New York that the lawyers here get about a third of the winnings on a personal injury case, which it really isn't true. With fees and other things, they get maybe as much as 50%.
Wow.
What this guy was doing is that he was getting the money, but he wasn't even giving the 50%. He must have had a rigged adding machine, because he was keeping most of the money for himself, which is a big no-no. He's 76 years old, so he's an old dog who's learned new tricks, I guess. So he's going to probably go to the slammer. They think he's stolen more from his clients than any other lawyer within recent history. So I guess that's his distinction.
Wow. How about, well, that's how he could afford all those commercials. How about drones, the problem at Kennedy Airport with the drones?
Yeah, I mean, at the risk of destroying our tourist business, the fact of the matter is that with all the airports we have, and Kennedy is the worst, you got these Looney Tune people who are sending drones off to them. And Kennedy Airport the other day was complaining about the fact in their internal newsletter that they got to get more people to be checking out and getting rid of these people. You know, it's not just a question of shooting them down. They're just floating around.
Yeah.
So drive to New York, folks.
Okay, and then you have a story about Montauk.
Yeah, well, it's the indication. I don't know where everybody from your neck of the woods runs to, but during the summer, everybody here goes running out to the Hamptons, out to Montauk. And so what happens is that these small little communities out on Long Island, which are really empty and deserted for the rest of the year, for a couple of months become packed. And the people in Montauk are complaining that it's just too many New Yorkers come out there. Montauk is at the tip of Long Island for any upstate person who doesn't know our geography. But they don't want it. They said too many people running around out there.
All right, Peter, the best tour in New York City, Gabby Cabby. Go to Gabby.com, and he'll take you to places, even during the heat of a Memorial Day weekend. Places
Absolutely, positively.
You never knew even existed. All right, Peter, good stuff. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.